Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a great show lined up for you today. CPI data came in this morning, lower than expected, the lowest we've seen in years. Getting a little pump off the markets, but I don't know that it's going to hold. We're going to be taking a look at that chart and figuring out where those levels of support are that need to hold. Bitcoin currently at about 58.8 right now. Ethereum just under $3,200. We'll be looking at that and a whole lot more. Plus MicroStrategies, a 10-to-1 split coming to the stock. Guys, let's get it. Classes in session. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I am Army Piper, and I've got my book. Check it out. I got Billy Goat Tales, A Bridge to Bitcoin here. So I'm proud to have my book. Got my in and out crypto gear on with Bitcoin for that Bitcoin conference, because I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but some guy, may have heard of him, named Donald Trump, going to be talking at Bitcoin 2024. So it's going to be pretty cool. But you know what's really cool is the guy that I have here talking on the show today. It's Tradefly. He's back in the house along with me and OC. So what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
What's going on, man? Yo, I am stoked to go down to Bitcoin Conference 2024, and I get to hear the old Trumper talk about some crypto. So that'll be pretty dope. Say what's up to everybody in the chat here. Man, this thing is flowing already. Trade Intuition, my man Joe's in there. Alexander G, the best mod in the house. Crypto Billy, how you doing? We got your book, bro. How you feeling right now? You're famous. All right, Justin Eubanks, how you doing? Dave Digital, my man. Lunar Beaches Crypto, LBC. He's going to be part of the show here soon. I'm excited to see him. Eric Ballin, Wallin, Blackie Chan, 577. How you doing, bro? And let's see if we got Amy Lives Crypto, Crux of Crypto, Bacon Munch, GM. How you doing? I don't know if I've seen you here before. And
Bacon Munch used to be a summa cum laude. He's been around for a while.
All right.
Yeah. Welcome.
On me. All right, John Foster Crypto and Crypto Candy. How you doing? Man, this list is going. And Trade Intuition, my man, gifting a Piper Academy membership. That's truly appreciated, my guy. Thank you very much. And hey, bro, me and you, we're unfortunately, we're frenemies, bro, because we're going to be competing here soon. And then Clay the Great, Userman Harp, and I think that about wraps it up. Whew.
Absolutely.
That's a lot in the chat already. Thank you.
It is.
Thank you for being here.
A lot of people in the chat today. But it's because of you've been gone and you're back. So, hey, OC, what's going on, man?
What's up? Nothing much. Just looking at Bitcoin that we're kind of trying to make through the dynamic reactor. I mean, we've been looking at this. It has a little bit of a uncertainty factor here. But other than that, or other than just grabbing to my chair and watching the charts, all good. I mean, it's been a little bit busy around the house, finishing stuff with the minor stuff with the hurricane thing. Yesterday, I got my fiber internet connected finally. So ready to go, ready to rock and roll. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's jump over to the news. We got CPI data that came out this morning, and there was some pretty bullish data in there. Market's getting a little bit of moves off of it, but I don't know that it's going to hold. And we're going to look at that chart here in just a few also. But let's go ahead and jump over into that news. Let's talk about this. Fear and greed sitting at 29. We're still sitting in fear as of right now. Jumping over to the crypto bubbles, guys, you can see Stacks. Stacks a big mover, up 13.9%. So my Stacks bag is very happy. Ondo's up 6.6% here. VeChain, Vet, shout out to Amy Lives Crypto. It's one of her favorites. Up 7.4% there. Arweave up 7.3%. Mog is up 9.9%. Those crazy memes, guys. But you see here, Bitcoin sitting currently at about 58.8 right now. Like I said, Ethereum is just under 32. Bitcoin's up 1.9% for the day. Ethereum is up 2.5 for the day. Moving down the list here, let's just see if there's any other big movers here. Cardano making a rally back up for 4.8% on the daily there. What else? What else is there? Near Protocol is looking pretty good right now, up 7.4% there. Bitcoin Cash, we'll just leave it at that. Pepe is up 6.2, and you guys can see here. I want to show you guys what happened here on Stacks. Where is it at? Go down lower. Stacks took a massive rally up this list today, guys. It is up. I want to say it was up like 7 spots this morning. Where is Stacks? Where you at, Stacks? Stacks, where you at? Right there. Yeah, up 7 spots this morning to number 33. So getting a nice big rally on Stacks on that market cap also. Let's jump over to the liquidations. Take a look here on the 24-hour, guys. You guys can see there. Past 24 hours, 31,971 traders will liquidate. Total liquidations coming in at $85.3 million. Largest single liquidation happened on Binance. It was Ethereum for a cool $1.55 million. Not like the previous 8 and 10 millions that we've seen, but still. But this is why you guys are here. Let's check out this data here. This is the core inflation rate month over month and year over year. We talked about it earlier in the week and said that we could see a market rally off of this if it came in at or below the consensus and forecast, and that's what happened. Core inflation month over month came in at 0.1%. The consensus and forecast was that it would be 0.2, neutral to what it was last month. That year over year was supposed to be coming in at 3.4. It actually came in at 3.3. And then down here, if we look at the inflation rate, guys, it was at 3.3 as of yesterday. Consensus and forecast was that it would be down 0.2%. We actually beat that. It came in at 3% there. And then, of course, we got jobless claims. They came in lower. So you guys know how this job thing works. If the job market looks good, the markets don't do as well off of it. Initial jobless claims came in at 222,000 jobs, was consensus at 236, forecasted at 240. Came in quite a bit lower than the amount of jobless claims that we saw last week. Let's jump over and take a look here, because the Kabisi letter does such a great job of breaking this down. Let's go in here and take a look and see what he's saying there. There we go. Let's jump in there. So he says, breaking CPI inflation fell by 0.1% in June 2024, below the expectation of a 0.1 increase. This is officially the first negative month over month inflation print since May of 2020, guys. So looking pretty good there. The U.S. economy has 39 months of CPI inflation at 3% or above. Jobs overstated in 2023 by 730,000 jobs. And there's 346 big bankruptcies in 2024, the most in 14 years. So there is still negative things flying around out there that you guys need to know about. But Kabisi letter does follow up with this here. He says, odds of the Fed rate cut by September has skyrocketed to 83%. It's now actually higher than that. I think it's like 84 now. And we're going to look at that here in a moment also, looking at those FOMC rate cut projections from the CME group. So that's what we have there on the news today, guys. Let's go ahead and jump back over to Trio Cam and let's talk about this. So we got this, we got these numbers that came in. They are looking like we could see some rate cuts, and we did get a little bit of move off the markets, and we're going to get into the Bitcoin chart here in just a second. But to those that are just joining us from over there at the Investing Bros, welcome to Piper Academy. Much love to you guys for joining us here today. TradeFly. So we got this data, CPI data comes out. What's going on here with this as far as it goes for the economy? Look, like, what's your sentiment? Does this change anything for you, really? And does this change anything for the Federal Reserve? Are they going to have to take another hard look at this and go, all right, labor and force is still good. We got CPI coming down. At my point, I think 2% is their goal. And if the labor force market is looking good, then they have no reasons to cut. I still think we get higher for longer, but I'd love to hear your input, man. Go for it.
I think you just answered your own question, man. That's the last piece of the equation there, is that labor force. And we've talked about it before, that inverse correlation is We need that to kind of be negative for Papa Pow to be happy. Unfortunately, that's kind of what I think they're waiting for. But I don't know that we're going to see a rate cut here soon. I think they're still kind of waiting. If you listen to Papa Pow talk, he did say that, like, hey, it's trending in the right direction, but we're still not quite there. There's still a lot of uncertainty in us actually getting to the numbers that they want to achieve. Like you said, the 2%, what I think is pretty unrealistic at this point. But, you know, if you think about the way it feels and the way that your expenditures are in every month, like, it's still pretty high. So I don't know that these numbers are really telling us the full truth. I don't know if they're really taking everything into equation. So that's kind of my thought process on it personally. My piggy bank is still hurting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I go to the grocery store and I buy, stuff for a couple of dinners, and I look at the register when I'm done, and it's $200. I'm like, where did I buy $200 worth of groceries at? This is ridiculous. But I'm sure you guys in the chat, you know the pain. It's real, and you can say inflation numbers are dropping, but I think at the end of the day, we're not feeling it on our end over here. So let's go ahead and let's just take a look and see. I want to see if there's a breakdown in here. That's the month over month. Yep, that's what I want to see. 1 second here. Let's go see what it is. So taking a look here at this inflation numbers, and it's got the breakdown in here. U.S. core consumer prices, which exclude volatile items such as food and energy. Keep that in mind. Excludes food and energy. Rose by 0.1% from the previous month in June, moderating from the 0.2% in May. And it looks like transportation services was a change. Shelter, prices slowed for shelter. And you know what? Let's just talk about that for a second, because there's been, I think I read an article yesterday, 299,000 new homes are available for sale right now in the southern states of the U.S. They're not selling. It would take, if no more houses hit the market at all, no new housing, it would take 9 months at the current sell rate to buy up the houses that are for sale in the South right now. And I saw a person on TikTok talking about the Austin market. It's a realtor over there that said that there are people upside down on their houses right now trying to get $3,000 a month for rent because they can't sell it. It would be a loss for them, and no one's paying the rent money. I do think that we've got a massive housing slide that's going to be coming. And when that happens and these banks have to start foreclosing on homes, and then people's credit card debt catches up to them, I think you're going to see these inflation numbers drop on their own, because people are not going to be able to buy anything. So just one man's opinion, but watching all of these factors, it's not a pretty picture. But you know what is a pretty picture? Bitcoin. Bitcoin gives me hope. So let's jump over to that chart and take a look there at what we're seeing on the chart, guys. You can see here, we did get a pump this morning on that CPI data. We broke above that golden pocket at 59,000, didn't even quite make that $60,000 mark. I was watching for this trend line. You guys know this pattern, this rising channel that we've been in here that I've been watching, and I was thinking we might get up to that. I'm really curious to see how price plays once we get up to the top here and this 4-hour dynamic reactor comes into line with it. I think that's going to be a major confluence point for a rejection. But what I do want to point out is that right now we are falling below this trend line that I put on here at 48,473. It's a support line. Previous resistance here that we had, and then back here it was support. So I'm watching this closely. It looks like we are losing it right now, trying to hold that level. Guys, 200-day exponential moving average is coming in right here at about 58,184. Let's push this over to a daily chart and see how that is looking. And you will see that right now we are sitting above it. But if we cannot close this daily above the 200, it's going to be the same thing that we've talked about every single day this week. This is our resistance. And until we close a daily candle above that and then confirm it on a retest, I have no reason to be bullish on Bitcoin in the short term. Of course, I'm bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. That's why we're here. But I do want to show that. Looking at the daily oscillator also, guys, very, very melodramatic melancholy, I should say, move here. It's not, there's no angle on it. There's no strength on it. Even the candles on the RSI primed are looking very squat and flat, looking like we're just going to be trading down here in the lower RSI for that relative strength index. TradeFly, let's kick it over to you, see what you're seeing on the heat map, and let's see which levels of liquidation are on there, because yesterday we showed some pretty high levels of liquidity available up in that $73,000 range, but there is some sitting right below us. So where are we at on that, bro?
Yeah, man. So first thing I want to do is I want to give a little shout out to my brother from another mother, my twinsy, Alex O Crypto. He gifted 5 Piper Academy memberships. So Randy,
Let's go.
Dave P, Billy Goat Tails, the Dusty Hunt, and Crypto Pew Pew Cruz were gifted memberships. Come on over to our Discord, man. It's a good time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the liquidation heat map. I have it on the daily. All right. So the daily is a little bit tighter, and you can see what happened this morning here with that news. You had liquidity right here, a real hot spot that got, a wick, just cleared it out. And then you still have some liquidity sitting to the top side of that, but it got the hot spot. All right. So that play has already happened. Now you can see where it's kind of dark blue. The liquidity is now starting to move, I would say, to the downside. All right, at least you're finding more liquidity building up. And then, like Piper said, down around 57,000 is where it's really building up on the daily, at least. So you're kind of in between right now. I don't know if liquidity is necessarily going to drive price action at this point, at least on the short term, because the maker kind of got his already this morning. So that's kind of where we're sitting at right now. But coming over to the charts, let's see how that kind of lines up. And we said 57,000 is where it's starting the liquidity. That makes sense, right? You have an area of support down here. That's that previous area that we got that bounce. So people were going long once we broke this area at about 56.7. So that's why that kind of makes sense that you have liquidity sitting at 57,000. But I do not be surprised if we come down and retest this area again, because the one area that I've been tracking, this trend line, we talked about this last time I was on the show, and this support range goes all the way back to February. So it's been a significant area of interest for me personally. You can see that you have confluence there. So we got that pump up off the news, but then we hit that area of resistance where you had confluence between a trend line and the support range, which is now obviously resistance. So keep your eye on that. Big number for you guys. Keep an eye on is 59,600 and some change there. We need to break that. And the other thing you have is you have a trend from this channel that's also coming down right. You got your moving averages coming down and right. You got a lot of things to work through. So I'd be very, very careful in this area, especially with taking a long position. I would personally like to see it break through that, retest, and then look for that continuation of the upside before I enter into a long. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the liquidation heat map and on the charts. We'll pass it over to OC, see what he's got.
OC, what you got for us, brother?
Absolutely. Well, we have by the way, first, TradeFly, we've been missing you on the show. Very glad to have you here. Finally, we're gonna have the Soul Train coming back. So another important thing that I see.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Another important thing that I see here is that we've been on this pattern playing out, right? I know it is not basically, we did not catch the bottom right here after this top, but overall the movement has been the same. So we're making that double top-ish at the top of the range, right? So there's a little bit of caveat here. We have not been able to break below the zero line, which give me hopes. Also, we're flipping up in the zero line, which again gives me strength. So we're building out a couple of things in here. Remember that at the end of it all, I was expecting maybe one more touch at the bottom, but also holding the zero line right down here. It seems like we're doing much better, basically not losing the trend line that we have, a little trend line that we have in here. There we go. And that is giving us that strength to start trying to push through the dynamic reactor. Let me just go to daily very quickly here. And also, let me clear this up so we can see through all of this mess, right? One thing that I want to point out, it is that it is not about the breakout, it's about the retest, right? So we are not still out of the blue, right? Even if we break the dynamic reactor to the upside in the 4 hours, well, then we still need to consider that we are bearish on the daily, right? It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest. We could be going for the retest, but hear me out here. Look at the compression on the waves in here. How long since we haven't seen that compression? Look at what happened last time we saw that compression here. So we saw the compression flip up and then we burst to the upside. A little bit of a difference here is that this compression happened at the center of the channel, or at center of the whole oscillator, and this compression is happening at the bottom. So that happens at the bottom usually indicates that we're going to be blowing up to the upside because we have less resistance. We are already bottoming down. So despite we are bearish, I think we could be having that oscillating system that I was showing you on the 4 hours. I still believe that we can go back and hit this trend line once again, all right? But ultimately, I think that we're going to be, because we're going to be breaking up on daily after we see that break of clouds. We are very close, guys. We are very, very close to that outcome of that compression of the clouds, and that gets me very excited.
Yeah, let's jump over and take a look here at what I'm seeing on the Dixie. I want to take a look at that, and then we're going to also go take a look at the big chart, the long range chart, so that you guys see just where we are in this whole picture. Okay, you guys see here on the Dixie getting quite the dump this morning. This is on a daily candle, so this is for today off of that CPI data, and we're not getting near the movement to the upside on Bitcoin that we're seeing off of that Dixie dump that we have there. Get back over there. Thank you. So I'm watching this closely, but we are coming in on the 300-day exponential moving average here on the Dixie. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that on the Bitcoin dominance is coming back down to this range here, the 54.5% that I've had on here for a while. I said, this is the range to watch. We are coming back down on that and that dynamic reactor at the same time. So we could see this is the opportunity for the altcoins to catch this pivot line. This is the line of crossing, right? So this could be the line where the dominance does start to break down below here, and then we get that altcoin movement. If we're going to get that, this would be the time to do it, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at this total too. We've talked about this this week already, and I said that we got this nice line here of where we are. If we take a look at where the break of the previous cycle was of this trend line off of this, you got this little cup of consolidation, and then we come up, we retest this level, and then we break the trend line, right? That's what we had last time. And I went and took a copy of those candles, put that little fractal over here, and guys, that candle yesterday, or that we were talking about, right on the line, and now we're getting into this pattern. You can see there's a green candle here. We could get a pump up on this, and then the total 2 pull back down again. So if we get that dominance to start to slide under that 54.5 range, this could give a chance for us to match that fractal again and give us another opportunity for breakout. This breakout, guys, this is altcoin season. That is what we're watching here. Keep in mind, this is a weekly candles. These are weekly, but I do see that by the end of July, going into sometime mid-August, we will have this altcoin rally that will break us out of this. So, and then last thing that I'm going to leave you guys with here before we go jump into a couple of news articles is this. Guys, we're still holding this range. I said, as long as we're trading in this range, we are in a bullish structure. And I'm looking at weekly Bitcoin here on this chart. This is the 887 of the platinum pocket. And you can see on the Sunday close, we held it perfectly. I said, look, we got to close above this line on the 887 to maintain this range. Exactly what happened on Sunday evening. So at the end of the day, even if we do get a pullback, guys, we could pull all the way back to $56,000, which is that liquidity range, tying it into what we saw there on the heat map from TradeFly. This is still a bullish structure. So overall, still bullish, but just be careful. We're not seeing a lot of price action with Bitcoin that we typically see when we see the Dixie dump, when we get this good CPI data. The volume is just not there. I saw TA Tim on Investing Bros a little bit earlier, showed a volume candle on the initial pump on the 15-minute, and then it just died. There was no volume to continue on that bullish move. So that's what I got there for that. TradeFly OC, anything to follow up on that before we jump into a couple of articles?
No,
absolutely.
nope.
I just wanted to maybe
little shout out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was just
Shout
gonna give
out.
a little
We're getting
shout
some
out to
shout outs.
French Toaster. He member for 5 months, cum laude. Just wanted to give him a shout out. Yeah, we're gonna look it up, Pyth for you, brother. And then Dave Digital, also member for 4 months, cum laude. So just want to give them a shout out. Thank you guys very much. I know you guys are already over in our Discord. We appreciate you, but I just want to show you some love before we
Yeah,
continue
OC,
on.
start that list for us with Pyth. And then, guys, whatever altcoins you guys want to see TA on, let us know in the chat and we will get it up for you right after this news. Right after this news. Let's go there. We are only halfway through the current Bitcoin bull market, according to Kathy Wood, guys. This is just to put things in perspective. We don't have to take off to the moon right now. Bitcoin has faced heavy bearish pressure recently on the back of significant negative developments within the alpha cryptos ecosystem. We still got, as we can look over here and see, let me pull this in just to show you guys what's going on over here. Like, there's all kinds of news out today. First off, we've got Germany just moved another 2,375 more Bitcoin worth $138 million over to the exchanges. So that happened today. But, you've got things like MicroStrategies announcing a 10-for-1 stock split. So, bullish. Is that bullish for Bitcoin? In an indirect way, it is, because this is a secondary exposure to Bitcoin, right? So stockholders seeing this might make them a little more bullish on the MicroStrategy movement, which then leads Michael Saylor to buy more Bitcoin. That just seems to be what happens. But at the end of the day, all this negative alpha that's been coming in, Kathy Wood says the Bitcoin cycle is only halfway through. That's it. We have 50% more to go, and we've already made some pretty good money on this market from buying at the bottoms. We were buying near the bottoms in this community. So 50% the way to go, guys. We still have halfway there. That's it. We're halfway there. It's a Bon Jovi song today. So given that we are only 50% of the way through, and the fact that we're seeing such strong support on these ranges, guys, I do think that we do have an August that is going to be phenomenal for us. I do want to remind you guys, though, that typically we do close to the upside, not fantastically, but we do close to the upside in Julys that follow a red June. Let's just go, for those that haven't seen it, let's go back and look at it again here, because you guys need to know about this. There we go. Look in here, guys. You can see anytime we've had a red June historically on Bitcoin, it was followed by a green July. So this would be the first time that it doesn't happen if we were to close this month in the red. But on the upside movements, guys, it's an average. It's an average of about 8% to the upside. So it's not a major move month, but it is absolutely a month that does give us that little, hey, I'm holding support. And that's what we're seeing right now. So I think that July, we do end a little bit up towards the end. But for right now, as long as we hold that key level, $56,000, we are still in a bullish structure. I just wanted to put that out on the table for everyone to understand. It doesn't mean that we won't go sideways. It doesn't mean that we won't have little pullbacks. As long as we end July to the upside, we're good. Let's go ahead and jump over to some altcoins and see what everyone's looking at over there. OC, do you have that list for us, man?
Absolutely. It's already up there.
You got a chart? You got a chart?
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Let's do it.
So I just was perfect. So I was just looking at building up the list. So let's get started with Python here. So let get it going here, and it seems like it's moving very, very nice. Something important that I see here, it is that continuation of a secondary YCAF pattern. Something important to note, it is the fractals in all of the crypto markets, right? Fractals is a great theory. I love them. And this is something that I have come to notice, especially in Bitcoin, but it tends to repeat over and over, which is especially on the YCAF pattern, having that V-shaped recovery, and then a continuation that usually leads me to have two of those in road. So first one right here, all right? Then we continue down, second one, and the third one is the charm. So for me, this could be it for the end of this continuation to the downside. And also look at that, we have been holding all the way, I mean, above the zero line in here. So it hasn't been for for a long time. Nonetheless, we do have market pumps. Yes, we still are very low on prime score, and that is because we are ramming to the dynamic reactor. Let me just bring up a couple of my indicators here to start seeing what do I have between my fingers, right? First of all, right here, this one, it is my prime. Let me just double click this. I just forget the name of this. This is my prime trend assistant, and this neon light basically tells me when I have an early shift or trend, or when I should be looking at for some kind of support and resistance based on the trend. So at this point, seems to be along with this other line all above the dynamic reactor, and that's something that I want to see, because if I can make that little push through, well, then I could maybe reach to this area and then go back down. Remember, it's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, opportunity for entry, and off you go. Remember, guys, that you can enter on breakouts, on retest. I like retest, but that is completely up to you. Let me just bring up a couple of more things in here. We have loud order block at the top and soft order block at the bottom. We have a secondary loud order block at the top. So we have much more resistance at the top than at the bottom. Nonetheless, remember, we are at the top, or we are above the zero line. As long as we are holding the zero line, so as long as we do not cross it, all right, we can still making pushes to the upside until those loud order blocks start getting out of order, right? So basically, we start grabbing that liquidity. So the confluence is at the top. Seems to be a good opportunity for a short. Nonetheless, just because of the oscillator, I will be holding still, waiting for this loud order block to start weakening, or that I have a rejection and breaking this other order block. I'm just going a little bit more in depth because of the request that was made on the channel. So this is going to be my entry point. If this one breaks out, well, then I'm going to be going for a short all the way here and secondary target all the way down here. All right. And then if I break this loud order block, I'm going to be going long on the retest right here. Not financial advice, but there you go, guys. Be prepared. Remember, a prepared trader is a smart trader. Turning it back to you,
That's
guys.
right. Don't be scared. Be prepared. TradeFly, what you got for us, brother?
OC's just killing it, man. All right. So looking at Sol, last time we talked about Sol, the big emphasis I had was this point of control right here. Sure enough, it's still acting as resistance. We did get a rejection, came up. It's multiple retests of that area. But if you're looking at it on a shorter time frame, it is kind of a bullish trend. All right. You see these series of higher lows, and it's still having this same area, like a horizontal area of resistance, kind of almost like on a short-term time frame, if you were to pull it out, kind of like or an ascending triangle, right? So what is ascending triangle? That's kind of showing you that it's building pressure up and right. All right, you got that multiple retest there. It looks like it wants to break through. Not saying it's going to, but it looks like it wants to. Coming down to the prime oscillator, you're seeing that trend go up and right. You got a prime score in it. You got a prophecy saying market pumps. Looks like it wants to push through. I wouldn't go long right here, though, because you got a lot of confluence here. There's a lot of stuff for it to actually get through. You want to see it get on this top side of this point of control. So OC retest, we talk about that all the time. You want to see it come like this. And then you want to see the continuation here of the prime oscillator. And then you will look for that continuation up and right. Where are you going to find resistance? 151. All right, that's been resistance. And you can see here, here, and you can actually see right here as well. There's a lot before it actually broke up, and then it actually had a big breakdown, right? So that's telling you that's a significant area of interest. But 151, that would be the top side, and that is a lovely liquor also if you're into that kind of thing. But there you go. That's where you're going to find resistance. If it does break through, yep, send it. And then support right here is at about 139. All right, so pretty clear. Once you draw the horizontal lines, you can see support, resistance. I'm not going to call them all out, but you can see it's very clear here. So that's kind of the two areas I'll be looking at for Sol. Again, you want to wait for that retest, or if it breaks back down, comes down here to this area of support, that might be an opportunity for you as well. And then, you know, on the inverse, right? Because I like letting the price action come to me. So if it does break through this area, same kind of deal. Same thing when you look for it on the top side where you see that retest. I would look for that on the bottom side of 139 also. So if it does break down, you'll see something like that, and then you'll look for that continuation down and right. So that's what I'm looking at for Sol. Over to Piper.
Gotcha. Let's jump into Ondo. I had a request for Ondo here. I'm watching some key things here. One, I want to throw a trend line on here. We're going to throw that trend line in right There we go. That's coming in at about $1.04, $1.05, somewhere around there. That is where we just wicked up. You can see here, it was previous resistance at this point right here. It was also support here. It was also support here. We did wick down into the golden pocket, but we closed everything above that. Look back here, resistance, support. This is a key level, guys, on Ondo that we're seeing here. That we're coming into play right now on. Let me go ahead and clean off that Mexican spaghetti there, courtesy of OC guy. There we go. And now let's watch what we're doing, what's going on here. We do have this golden pocket, the 618 at $1.01 right now that we're trying to get above on that candle. But that candle body sitting below and in that golden pocket right now. This is the area down here that I told you guys to watch for consolidation. This is based off of the fixed range volume profile. Let's throw that on. Let's show you guys where that area is at. Nope, that is not the one. Sir, I need you to be the right one. Do I have that one on here? No, let's throw a fresh one on. I guess I took it off there. So, no, there it is. I knew I had one. Thank you very much. That is the point of control down there in the platinum pocket. If we do not get a close above this golden pocket and cannot get past that major area of resistance that I just showed you guys historically here in the 4 hour, I do believe that we are going to be heading back down to the platinum pocket, possible wicks coming down to that point of control. Another big reason for that is this is the value area high of that fixed range volume profile. Let's bring this into focus so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Let's isolate this top chart. Bring this in. So there's your value area high right up here where we are right now. The point of control, when we typically get rejections off of that, we do head down to the point of control. We have not made it down to that point of control as of yet. On Sunday when we came down a wick to here, we were really close to it, not quite making it. If we get this rejection here, it could be that we come down here. And of course, again, I'm still bearish until we break that 200-day exponential moving average and close above it on Bitcoin. Therefore, I have got to be bearish on everything else. And Ondo right now continuing to make lower highs and lower lows. I do think that the next level to watch for would be 81.4 cents down there. And that would be a key area to enter into a long for upside movement. So that's what I'm watching there on Ondo. Just a real quick snapshot of what we're seeing on the daily. It does have a bullish structure here on the daily. So yes, I am filling the daily, the higher time frame movement to the upside. But I do want you to keep in mind that on the 4 hour, we are pretty overspent on the RSI and the Oscillator Pro, all saying, hey, we're running out of energy here for the bulls. So OC, let's kick it over to you and see what you got, bro.
Absolutely. Big shout out to BC Port Corp. He says, this has easily become my favorite crypto show. Excited to see all new things coming soon. And he also pushed a request for INJ. So shout out to you, brother. Thanks to you. And for you, we do this show to keep you guys informed and also to build up the beautiful community of crypto. So we got INJ here. And this is one of those good examples where we take new data and then we start refining our analysis. Remember, not because you do one analysis yesterday, you're going to be ignoring all new data that is coming from or coming to you, right? You need to evolve with the markets and have to understand how to change opinion, because remember, a smart guide, it is changing opinion with that new data, right? So let's do exactly that. Yesterday we were looking at, and what I wanted to see, it was a breakdown of that trend line going all the way down here, because going all the way down here, if I start turning on my confluence zone, which I also had my loud order block, remember I was measuring from loud order block and also from, I think, there you go. Yeah, here we go. My fair value gaps, I was estimating a possible growth of 28.42 no leverage if we hit this loud order block and this trend line, right? And usually I like to go 10x, so that will be kind of like a 284% gains if we measure all the way down here. So far, and I said this would be safe to say that we already have had a bounce in here. Did we broke this trend line? Yes. But that bounce basically lets me know that I should be unlocking this trend line. Let's do that. All right, unlocked it. and then also updated it as we are seeing right now. So am I taking any trades at this point? Not at all. Remember that my trade taking areas is after breaking the resistance, all right, becoming new support because I'm bouncing out of the high order block. And right here where a previous resistance becomes new support, remember it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. This will be my long entry for the long run, which is going to be somewhere around 25.13 in the case that we keep pushing upwards. But I don't think we're going to keep pushing upwards, especially because we can see this absorption zone start building up. And also, despite we are planning or we are expecting a flip of the ribbon right down here, we are right now on red territories, red clouds, which indicates that we could be having maybe a fake out like this. Look at what happened when we went visit the lower areas on the oscillator and then made that final push to the upside. All right, so that's what I could be maybe expecting now. Possible in the future, kind of like a fake out like that. That will be basically my best case scenario, going back down to this trend line and finally making that big push to the upside. That's what I want to see. That's what I see the most possibilities for it to play it out. Nonetheless, remember, a smart trader is a prepared trader. So here's the short analysis, just going back down, entry point for a long. You can maybe try to short this. Be careful. Not financial advice. Or after going to the high order block on the retest, this will be my next entry for a long. And you could also try to short this area right down here. Remember, not financial advice. Just be mindful and use a stop loss and do not go ham on your leverage, right? Other than that, turning back to you guys.
Awesome. TradeFly, what you got for us, brother?
Right on. Looking at API 3 right now on the daily. So haven't done too much research on that. What I can tell you right now, the trend right now is definitely bearish. Chart Prime is showing a symmetrical triangle. I could see that. And I also see where you might be finding a horizontal level of support there at about $1.53. That really is pretty close to the smart target on that breakout for the symmetrical triangle as well. So Chart Prime for the win again, but you can see a series of lower highs. All right, so you got pressure to the downside. You're still on the bottom side of that symmetrical triangle as well, which is going to act as resistance, but you have all the moving averages, the dynamic reactor, all of that to the top side of price action. So what does that tell me? Be careful. Okay, so if we're going to actually put another horizontal line here, it would be right here. You see how there's support here pretty consistently in that horizontal level. Well, what I'd like to do now is go back left on the chart. And what you can see, there's actually been resistance there as well. So that's an area that if price action is going to push up to the right, that's an area I would look for a little bit of a rejection or some kind of resistance. So that's at about $2.10 or $2.11, as well as you have the 20-day SMA moving average there. That's going to act as resistance as well. So that's what I'm looking at. Top side, bottom side, you can see that. That's clear as day. We kind of talked about that at about $1.53. But if you go back left on the chart, what I'm looking at here is just look at all the price action that's been here, right? So if you were going to put a fixed range volume profile in here, you're going to see, just a ton of volume in here. But really, this high side here, it's really fallen back into the range. It's kind of regressed to the mean. You've had some big movements to the downside. You've had some big movements to the upside. But I would say be very careful in here. You might be able to play this range. Again, you're going to find, I think, a little bit of resistance here. I would wait for it to break out. Just pretty similar to what I just talked about with, what was the last one I did? Sol. Same thing with Sol. I would wait for it. I mean, you could play this range. Like if it comes down, look here at the prime oscillator. Again, you want to see something where it's kind of going like that. You'll see some movement up and right. You could look for that retest here of this area and then potentially look for a move to the upside. So be careful with that. Set a tight stop loss, not financial advice, obviously. But that would be kind of something I would look for. But really, like if you're going long and you're trying to add your bag on API, I'd be very careful in this area. I would like to let it do that retest on the top side of this area first before I would be interested in really taking a long position for API 3. So that's what I'm looking at, and I will pass it on to Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over and check out Stacks here. Watching some stuff on Stacks. You guys saw the big move this morning on the crypto bubbles. So what I'm watching here is we are getting above the dynamic reactor. I do think we have some upside coming, but we've got some very critical resistance coming up ahead. Guys, it's the 786 here, the platinum pocket, coming in line perfectly right here with the 300-day exponential moving averages, and then the crossing 50-day EMA also. So this level right here, getting 3 levels of resistance, all in confluence right now. I do see that we're pulling back on the 4-hour. I'd like to see a retest here before it moves to that upside. But something that I want to point out is that if we come in here and we take a look at the Market Dynamics Pro, we do have a falling wedge here, guys, descending wedge. If you take a look at what's happening right here with this level, I think that if we break this and we get above it, watch for that 100 and 200 day to be in line with this upper diagonal trend to the downside. That would be where I would watch for us to come down and get a rejection. If we can get a test of support there, we could get a breakout of this pattern. This is a bullish pattern. So, you know, a lot of variables there that need to happen for this to occur. But on the most part, for the most part right now, if we can get past $1.79, $1.80, that could be the setup that we're looking at doing, because being above that 50 and that 300-day moving average, on top of them being support with the platinum pocket, that 786, that is going to be enough to give us a bounce. Let's go take a look at the oscillators and see what we're seeing on there. As of right now, we are looking very, very overbought on the Oscillator Pro. We are sitting really high on the RSI Prime. So keep in mind, we could get that rejection of that resistance there and come back down while the dynamic reactor is in the bottom of the platinum pocket, and that would give an opportunity for all this stuff to cool off before it does that. But when we look at the daily here, looking at the daily, we still have a lot of room to move to the upside. So that little pullback on the short time frame would be right in line with the higher time frame, with all of the room to the upside that we have ready to move. Like, we've got plenty of field to play on right now on the higher time frames. It's just going to be a matter of what happens on that 4-hour. And I do think that 4-hour could see a little pullback at the $1.80 mark, and then a retest down here with that point of control coming in at the 887. And that's where we look for that breakout of that pattern, guys. That's what I'm seeing on stacks. What time is it? What we got? We got about 12 minutes. We got plenty of more time. We got time, baby. Let's go. OC, what you got for us, bro?
Absolutely, just a double down, because we just hit one of our alerts that we just placed on INJ. So we're crossing the trend line here. So guys, be aware, this call might be playing out throughout the show, so be mindful on that one. Other than that, I want to go over Dogecoin, because we were looking at it yesterday and we had a previous analysis here. So guys, it's taking a little bit to play it out, right? But let me just bring out the big guns in here, which are the oscillator and our order blocks. Look at that. We are building bigger and higher order blocks right here above us, and we are compressing with this loud order block. Remember that loud, it is the strongest of them all, and then the second strongest, it is the high order block. So by the end of this battle between these two, what I'm thinking, if nobody retraces out or closes their position, remember, the order blocks can disappear or just randomly lower the strength, because that depends on people own decision at whatever given time they want to withdraw, close, or do not execute their open entries in the public books. All right, so that's what it depends from. But if it stays as it is, I believe that the loud order block will be coming too high, the high will be breaking down, and then we could be maybe going through that loud order block and basically just moving upwards and then downwards. So I still have hope, because look at that movement in here. Yes, it hasn't been that big of a deal. We still run the risk of falling back down, right? But I believe that it's going to be to the loud out order block. It's still, I keep my my analysis as is at this point. So be careful, because our consolidation score, it is 10, and for me that is a unicorn. 1 and 10 are unicorn numbers, because you don't always see them. They're very weird. And consolidation score 10 is telling me that I am highly consolidating. Am I? Yes, absolutely. But also tells me that I am at the end of that consolidation. So a breakout might be imminent throughout the upcoming next 8 hours. So if you're looking at Dodge, remember manage your risk, and also look at those signals that I'm pointing out here. Other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I see we had a request here also. It says, can we look at Aptos, please, from Barbaric Puma? So shout out to you, man. I'm not sure I've seen you in here before. If you guys are new here and this is your first time on Piper Academy, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Get notified when we go live every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's kick it over to TradeFly and see what you got there. You got Aptos up, right? Let's go.
I got Aptos up, man. It's not looking pretty, man. I got to be honest with you. I got a fib retracement up here. We are under the platinum pocket. That's not the prettiest thing I've seen, and it looks like it's finding a little bit of resistance there. So be very, very careful with going along in this position. Seems to be the trend of the day. We're kind of fighting with resistance on most of these altcoins, just in different places on the chart, but it is right now flirting with resistance. So I would not go long here. I would let it break through. Again, not financial advice. To the bottom side, though, if it does pull back, you got an opportunity here at about $4.73. You can see that was really one of the previous lows before we made the big run up. So I do think you will find some support there at about $4.73. Let me give you guys a quick little shill, though. And Chart Prime, if you're listening, man, whenever you want to bring me on the team, because I'm giving you some love here. Look at the Market Dynamics Pro on the daily, and I'm going to give you the settings here, all right, because this thing hits quite a bit. Let me scroll down here on the Pro. I believe this is it. Chart patterns. Select style, wick, breakout, smart target, and then this is the big part right here, though. Medium detect or wedge detection, medium, channel detection, small. Make that your settings, and I'm telling you, on the daily, this thing is money. You can see right here, it gave you a channel, breakout, smart target, hit it, and of course it took off up and right. But the important part is when it breaks these patterns and it hits those smart targets, it happens quite a bit. You saw that just on API 3 also, where that one hit its smart target as well. You're going to see it over and over again. I'm telling you, this thing is money. And one of your traders there, what's the big trader that's on Chart Prime that basically always does the trade setups?
NASDAQ 75.
NASDAQ 75. Yeah, that dude, he's pretty good. So this is his settings that he uses, and this thing hits quite a bit. Now, I will say that he mostly uses it on the 4 hour, but I'm telling you what, I've noticed on the daily, some of these bigger movements, you can see, dude, Chart Prime is just crushing it. All right, there's your shill. And we have a code 45% off. Use it. All right, Aptos, not looking pretty. I gave you this here, this area of resistance. That's about $6.38. Wait for it to break. That's the moral of the story there. If it does, you'll get into this range here, and you're probably going to find resistance at the 0.786, which is $7.85, as well as you have all this resistance on the top side. You have the moving averages that are all converging in that area. So be very, very careful. But if it does break through, look for a move up to that area. That would probably be a nice little quick intraday or scalp trade. Again, not financial advice. If you want to wait, though, I would say not bad on setting an alert here where we talked about this area of support. That's probably the main areas that I'll be looking for in Aptos. Again, if it breaks, come down here, verify with the RSI, prime oscillator, whatever you're using. But yeah, that's kind of the key areas that I got for Aptos.
Awesome. We got a new subscriber that just commented on here. He said, howdy. It's Mikey Canuck. He said, howdy, new subscriber, great channel. Any thoughts on layer 0 LRO? So OC, could you pull up LRO as a chart? And we'll take a look at that in a moment. But I want to talk about some things because I leaned on my my AI assistant over here and said, tell me everything new about LRO that I need to know, or ZRO, my bad, ZRO layer 0. Guys, so some things going on with the layer 0, just so you guys know. First of all, they just got listed on the futures exchange for Coinbase. So that's a lot of new traffic coming in, being able to do it. Their technological advancements, they're working on interoperability standards for the Cosmos ecosystem, aiming to enhance the integration and functionality across different blockchain networks. So that's a pretty big deal for them. They got an airdrop campaign that's going on right now, started on June 20th. It's going to be running all the way to September 20th. and you can do your token, get your airdrops then, and any unclaimed tokens after that period is going to be redistributed among other community members. So all of the tokens, even if they don't get claimed, are still going to go out to everyone. So they're getting those tokens out to people. I'm not sure what their tokenomics fully look like on this. That would be Crux of Crypto that does all that in our community. And if you're not in our community, you need to join over there because he does deep dives and quick dives all the time on this stuff. But the big one is they just recently did a round of funding, and Layer Zero Labs raised $120 million in a rounding fund, which boosted its valuation to $3 billion. So company-wise, what they got going on, they're doing a lot. They're making a lot of moves. They're doing a lot of things. And the fact that Coinbase picked them up for futures trading does give a lot of legitimacy to the project itself. So, OC, let's jump over and see what you're seeing on that ZRO chart. You got it ready?
Yeah, perfect. I got it ready.
Let's go.
All right, perfect. I was looking at CRO. So when you said layer zero thinking, oh, I was CRO. So, all right, just a little bit of confusion on my side. So that's why it is looking like that. So it seems like it has a ton of push through after a big jump. We are in the 4 hours, so this is a fairly new token. So we need to go into lower time frames. I would say 15 minutes might do the trick. And here we go. What we're seeing here is that we are ranging, right? We have a big ranging here. Are we above the zero line? Yes, absolutely. But we need to look for that retest, at least right here. Why? Because look at what happened the previous time that we had that retest. Well, then, yes, we started climbing. And in the moment as we broke above, well, then seems like we also make that pump all the way until we break below right here, where we start having a parity between the peaks down and the peaks up, which indicates ranging, right? So right now, what we're having in here, it is that we are breaking that parity between peak up, peak down, peak up, peak down, so on and so forth. And if we make that bounce up here, it could be the beginning of the new movement to the upside. So far, we are still ranging, but also my prime score is getting very bullish, and my prophecy says also bullish. So remember, as I always say, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. We're going for that retest. Let me bring up my indicators to see what else do I have in here. And seems that retest could be going a little bit farther below. We have a big trend line happening right here, and that could be where we start wicking down to this big retail area that we see right there. So be mindful. My triggering will be the oscillator flip of the ribbon in here, with being at some support areas right down here, or even in here. It doesn't matter as long as I see the flip of the ribbon above the zero line, and also the price action bouncing. So far, looks like we could be onto something, but because we're building that absorption zone, I would wait for that flip of the ribbon, even if that means entering back on a higher time frame, in a higher price area, because the targets could be all the way up here, and I'd rather go in safely than just getting in and then the thing just going down. But I don't like losing, by the way. Yeah, other than that, turn it back to you guys.
Awesome. OC, TradeFly following up with the last one for Warrior here, and then I've got an announcement, and then we're going to head over to Randy Hipper and go raid the frat house mom's house. So what you got for us, TradeFly?
Cool. I'm going to keep it quick. Chart looks ugly. But hey, chart frame for the win again. You can see it had a breakout, smart target, hit it. But what you're dealing with right now is a little bit of resistance, right? So you got that bottom part of the descending triangle. That's going to act as resistance. You have the golden pocket. You have all the moving averages to the top side. So a very similar looking chart to the other altcoins. It's got a very like head and shoulders look to it, right? But if that were to play out, that would take you all the way back to bear market lows. I don't think that's going to be the case this time. But what you're looking for right here, look at this wick, right? This wick is showing you that there is buying pressure, at least willing buyers in this area. And that's really based on this previous range right here. So don't be scared to look at a position here at about 23, or if you're just already in a position, looking forward to find support in that area, which it may have already done. You can see the prime oscillator is working its way up and right. So it's showing that it does want to move up and right. And you can see, right, what happened today with Bitcoin, it's actually starting to pull back a little bit right now. Avalanche is not. All right, so that's a good sign. You want to look and see what it's doing in correlation with some of the other coins or with Bitcoin itself. That's showing you that there could be a little bit of strength here for Avalanche. I think it makes a move up to at least the golden pocket here where you're going to find resistance. So you're looking at about $28 to about $30 where you're going to find that resistance as well in the moving averages. Again, if you're intraday or scalping, be very, very careful trying to push past that. If you do, then, same thing we always talk about. Look for that retest when it gets to the top side of that price action. But that's what I'm looking for very quickly on Avalanche in the short term.
Awesome. I appreciate you rounding that out for us, man. It is the bottom of the hour, guys, but I do want to bring up here, shout out to Dave Digital posting on X about Billy Goat Tell's new book. If you guys have not seen it, it's called Billy Goat Tells. I've got the book right here. I've got my copy, guys. It is a children's book, and it is for the it is telling about security and safety in crypto. So fantastic book. It's based on Billy Goat Gruff. And the bridge, the troll, right? That's Scammer Delete is his name in the book. But you guys got to go check it out. And if you guys want to do a quick grab there, this is going to be right here for you. It's a quick QR code so you guys can get this. It's available on Amazon and it's available, I believe, someplace else. Barnes and Noble, I think it's going to be at. But you guys got to go get the book. It's fantastic. And if you guys got kids and you want to teach them about crypto and teach them about security, that's what you need to do. This is a great book for that. So you guys... Yeah, perfect for your reading level, Alex. So love it, bro. You guys, if you guys go get it, let us know in the Discord. We would love to talk about the book because I think it's a fantastic project that they did. And shout out to Billy Goat Tales for that. So Tradefly OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? Before we go raid Randy Hipper. If you guys don't know, she's our frat house mom. And when you get over there, you drop your graduation caps and she says, I'm making tendies for you guys and cookies. Go sit down and party. So Tradefly, what do you got for the people, man?
You know what I got? I got an order of the book just now on Amazon. There you go. I'm ready. I use that QR code, baby. I'm going to scan your shirt too when I get a chance. Don't you worry. But hey, happy, it's not Friday. It's my Friday. That's right. It's Thursday morning. I always got to remember that. It's my Friday because that's Thursday. When I get out my weekend. Yeah, I know. But hey, it's awesome. I think today's show was awesome. Thank you very much for being in the chat. Thanks for blowing it up. We appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around and watching us act like clowns here and giving you some TA. So that is truly appreciated. And I am looking forward to being on tomorrow. And I will be coffeeed up with rest. So you think I'm on crack now? Wait till tomorrow.
OC, what do you got for the people, man?
Absolutely. I want to get started first saying that our friends from Toronto, they just got hit by the storm that also hit us. So my prayers are with you guys. It's moving to Marinus or Pembroke. So guys, stay safe. I know it's not a hurricane anymore, but it has a ton of water. That thing hits me. I know how it feels like. So guys, our prayers are for you guys. Also, quick reminder, hit that like button because if you do, you'll find out that premium air tire might get you for free next time you go to the gas station. If you don't believe me, go to your nearest gas station and ask for premium air tire. You'll see that is for free this time. As long
what
as
kind of world do we live in that you got to pay for water and air? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here today on Piper Academy. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, just like we are every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. If you're new here, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow morning, guys. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Round off to get with random. The ZTS rhythm. Rip it. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.